Well, in today's gospel, we hear Jesus commission his apostles and giving them power and authority to do the things that he had just finished doing in his main mission here. We see a break here in the 9th chapter of St. Luke's gospel where he's turning now more towards Jerusalem. If you look, we have our daily readings and we have our Sunday readings. We're behind a little bit in the daily readings. We'll catch up to the Sunday readings soon in the synoptic things. But as I was praying with these readings, this gospel passage today, one of the things that stuck out to me was shaking the dust from your feet. When I was in high school and college, I used to be part of a retreat team for my home parish. And we would go and do confirmation retreats and high school retreats all over the area and things like that. And I remember sometimes, some retreats are better than others. People are more willing sometimes. Some people give their hearts a little bit more to Christ at some retreats than others. I remember when I was very young, I used to think, well, when we'd have a bad retreat, well, was there something that we did wrong? Was there something that we just didn't do, right? And that comes to the point of a realization of, you know what, we proclaim the gospel the best that we can. And then sometimes we have to look and see, there's times when it's not received. Or it's not received in a time that we think it's received. Sometimes fruit takes time to bear. It's not just there automatically. We shouldn't expect immediate gratification. And that's part of this shaking the dust off your feet. Sometimes when you're rejected, in a sense, you have to leave that behind. You have to be in the present moment at times to where you say, okay, well, I did this. You might not have been happy with it and stuff, but you shouldn't let that affect your next moment. There's a certain amount of compartmentalization that has to happen within ministry, within being a disciple, in a sense. And that's kind of the same way with Padre Pio. Padre Pio was a man that, hardly left the monastery that he was at, but was given great gifts, and especially the gift to suffer with the Lord through stigmata. But there are people, especially at that time, that thought, oh, his stigmata wasn't real. Oh, he was just, a charlatan in a sense. Because people that are used to disappointment will continue to expect disappointment over and over and over again. But he continued. He endured on that. He didn't let that bother him. He didn't change his ways whenever people came and said, oh, why does he stare at the Eucharist for hours on end during Mass? Why does he keep lifting it up and just constantly staring at it for a long period of time? Is it just a show in a sense? It wasn't just a show. It was a show to see his great love for God, his great love for the Eucharist, not just something to prop himself up. Miracles, stigmata, gifts given to God aren't given for the building up of ourselves, but are given for the building up of the kingdom. We must always remember that. Now, I could end this homily with a quote from Taylor Swift. Obviously, we have a famous song that she can sing and talk about shaking it off and stuff like that, but I think you'd rather hear something from Padre Pio. So this is from Padre Pio. My past, O Lord, to your mercy, my present to your love, my future to your providence.